Hey guys, today we'll be talking about how to improve your farming efficiency in Genshin Impact. So let's start off with tip number 1. If you haven't already, you should start using Condensed Resin. So for all your ley lines, domains, world bosses that includes hyperstatuses and regis you can essentially double your output, your reward output, by using condensed resin. So what this essentially does is it cuts your farming time into 2. But there is one major downside, meaning that you have to go to a crafting bench located in Liu Harbor or Mondstadt to be able to craft this. And you can only store 3 at a time. So to craft condensed resin, you have to expend 40 original resin and 1 crystal. So the annoying thing about this is that you have to farm those annoying crystal geoflies and crystal flies. Here are all the farming locations for the geo crystal flies. I'll provide a link in the description, and I also recommend you to use the Genshin World interactive map. So this brings us to tip number 2. So for tip number 2, you should always utilize the Genshin Impact interactive world map. So if you go into your web browser and go to this link, which I'll provide in the description below, you can see that this map essentially provides us with all the farming routes, all the geocrystal flies, like literally every material in Genshin Impact, including all the enemies that drop farmable materials. And this also provides us with Animalculus, Geoculus, all the teleporters, literally everything in Genshin Impact. This is a really great source to, let's say you want to farm crystal flies. There's all the crystal flies. And then once you've seen all the crystal fly locations, for example, you can just mark them all with a star or something to make sure you don't have to go on the website again. Same goes with Geoculus and Animalculus. If you're still farming those, if you're a beginner, you can literally just go to the Genshin Impact interactive world map and go to click the Animalculus or Geoculus tab and say mark as found. It will save into your Gmail account, and it'll create an account for you, so you don't have to worry about it disappearing the next time you log on to the tab. There's also comments underneath for in-game guides and stuff, so that's also a really good thing. One other feature about the Genshin Impact interactive world map is the artifact routes. There's also other farming routes that you can take. The main one is artifact routes because a lot of people are approaching endgame. In endgame, you don't really have a lot to do other than artifacts. If you do let's say the artifact farm, but you can't level them up, you can do your artifact farming routes, which this website has. So related to the Genshin Impact interactive world map is tip number 3. So for tip number 3, I recommend you to create a customized farming route just for your needs. So let's say I want to farm some Adeptus Temptation, which involves crabs. I have, let's say, this farm marked on my map to go there every 24 hours because I know that crabs respawn every 24 hours. So this is a really good place to go for farming crabs. Let's say you can go to Wolfdom to farm wolfberries, but in my case I'll provide an example of Adeptus Temptation. So there's also an artifact shop I've marked down. There's also a crab shop right there. So just get to know your farming routes and just make a daily schedule for you to do when you're logging onto Genshin Impact. This way you can maximize the efficiency of your farms and you know exactly where to go, and your farms do not need to be relied on RNG. You can also write down a list in your reminders, or you create a diary. I don't know, whatever works for you. Just create a plan every day to log on Genshin Impact and have some set tasks to do. This time schedule is especially important if you want to farm day-specific domains. Let's say if you want to enhance this rust. And if you go to this, you can see that the domain is not yet available because it's only available on Monday and Thursday. And in this case, it is Tuesday at the time of this video. So you want to make a weekly schedule about all the domains and just set a reminder. Just set a reminder of the days which you want to farm and the days where you just want to relax and have fun. Because if you miss it, you then have to wait a number of days before you can get that specific item again. This also applies to the weekly world bosses. So just set a reminder for yourself to farm those every week. You have 1 week to farm them. And yeah, these are really important because they give really specific rewards needed to upgrade specific talents to the max level. So for tip number 4, you want to utilize your Adventure Handbook. If you haven't already, you can go to domains and bosses to see all the available bosses. If you didn't know, if you go to the bosses tab, some of the enemies do not need resin to farm. So if you have run out of resin and don't have anything else to do, or you're just looking for specific items like the black crystal horn, you can go ahead and press the navigate button and it'll navigate to the nearest location of the enemy that you want to farm. You can do this repeatedly for all the enemies that you want to farm. Although there is a set amount every day, they do have to respawn every 24 hours. So you can't farm these infinitely, although there's a lot for you to farm just with the Adventurer's Handbook. So for tip number 5, make sure you use the Portable Waypoint for specific farmable locations where it is difficult to get to. This is true for anyone who wants to farm the Geo Hypostatus. It's really difficult to get from this teleport point all the way across the ocean to get the Geo Hypostatus. So the smarter way would be to swim over there once and establish a temporary teleport point right where the Geo Hypostatus spawns to cut down your time costs and make your farming more efficient. Keep in mind that you can only have this teleport, although there are some downsides. The Portable Waypoint can only be existing one at a time for a maximum of 7 days. So you have to craft it again every 7 days. This still saves a load of time. And if you haven't got the Portable Waypoint, you should do so right now because you can get it from the Mondstadt reputation rewards pretty easily. All you have to do is reach level 6 reputation in the reputation rewards in Mondstadt to get the Portable Waypoint instructions. So to summarize, for tip number 5, make sure to use your reputation gadgets. This makes farming much more easier, like the Wind Catcher, the Portable Waypoint, the NRE, which makes combat way better because you can heal so much quicker. You can also use the Wind Catcher to go on top of ledges and cliffs that you don't have the stamina for. There's also Animo and Geo treasure compasses that help you locate all the chests in this world, providing there's a... My 6th tip is to use external guides to help you farm better. So Genshin Impact Reddit is a really good one. They have a daily questions mega thread which you can ask people for farm guides and tips. And if you search up farm on the Genshin Impact Reddit, you can search up everything that you need, all those customized guides just for you. And there's a lot of tips and tricks from Reddit that I've used in my own guides as well. For example, I got this from Reddit. This is a tool where it can provide you with all the ascension and talent information for every character, so you can farm for the upcoming character that you want. And there's just tons more on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube. There's like mushroom farming routes. There's a lot of farming guides that will help you increase your efficiency and make farming more fun. And this leads to my 7th and final tip to make farming in Genshin Impact more efficient. Have fun. I know, right? Sounds cliche, but it is true. Just grab a bunch of friends, do co-op multiplayer, and then do some high level world bosses, farm together. I don't care what you do, but I know that co-op makes farming and just playing the game much more fun in general. Grab a bunch of your mates and just hang out, have a good time. This will avoid you getting burnt out in Genshin Impact and will make farming easier and more efficient. This is because you can tackle more of the harder enemies like Oceanoid much more quick and defeat them, because instead of one character being in control, you have up to 4 characters that can be in control of each other to make tons more damage in co-op mode. So that summarizes my 7 tips for farming in Genshin Impact. Thank you, and please subscribe and like for more future content like this. Peace.